Right guys, so will our cheap Nissan Note that we've bought from BCA get us home the hour? Dwells me a 4-hour drive, 35 miles. Now, full disclosure, I have already bought this vehicle and I have had a report on it that says that I'm happy with to drive home, put it that way. Now, I'm going to give a shout out to Kirk on the trial. He told me to do this. So, bit of a blame game, bit of a shout out to Kirk, cracking fella, really nice. But here I go. I'm not as experienced as Kirk when it comes to YouTube, but I'm having a go. I've even left my little gimbal stick at home, as you can see. It's just me with the phone. So, straight away when we come to it, now there's an age-old myth, and we have to blame Mr. Mike Brewer for this. Sorry, Mike, but we do. That if we see mayonnaise in the filler cap, the right sticky substance, that's normally a sign that the head gasket's gone. Now, as a mechanic with 30 years in the trade, 30, not 30, I might look like I've had 30 years in the trade, but it's only 13, trust me. I've never seen cream on an oil cap with a blown head gasket. What normally tends to happen is if you've got it at the bottom of the dipstick, which we haven't there, oil's a nice colour. If you've got it at the bottom of the dipstick, now this has been running for a bit, you can tell because the engine's quite warm, so we won't open that cap just yet, so it's not a true reflection of what I mean. But normally, this isn't probably the best cap to test it on as well, so with the likes of your Fords that have a plastic expansion tank there, I crack it off slowly, and if you get a lot of pressure, you've got a low tank or nothing in it, and you get a lot of pressure out of it and the engine hasn't been running that long, that's more worrying. I wouldn't say it's a sign necessarily that the head gasket's gone, but that's more worrying than cream on the filler cap. What you tend to get with these sorts of cars as well, Nissan Note, small little cars that are normally owned by older people that don't really drive much, is they get condensation in the cap. So that's nothing really. It's one of them. It'll run off. Old Clios are quite common for it as well, you know. And we have to blame Mr. Mike Brewer for this. But people tend to worry that it's the head gasket. That's not necessarily the case. But a battery tray there, that's a bit loose, but that wouldn't be considered an MOT fail, believe it or not. It's not falling out the vehicle and I can't yank it out. That's not an MOT fail. It might be an advisory, but not a fail. So we'll have a check of the tyres, make sure all the tyres are good. Well, you know, they're well above the wear indicator. We'll have a look at the pads, get your finger in. Normally, as a rule of thumb, they're looking a little low. Try and see that in there. Probably not the best way, but if you can get your finger in between the pad and the disc, that's normally a good sign. All the tyres are good here, you know, they're not brand new, but they're well above the wear indicator at 2mm, which is good. They're all inflated. We can't check the discs on the back because we're on drums. We'll obviously do the lights check as well, make sure all the lights are there, but I know my report says they're all there, so it's up to you. When you go to a physical car auction, what I tend to do is I will stand near the car before it goes in, before it started. So again, going back to our head gasket conversation, if the car is spinning over quite fast, mechanics say it's obvious that it's got no compression, so it's really fast and it's not a sign of a weak battery. So with a weak battery, you'd get like a labouring, like and then it'd cough into life. With a head gasket, it'd be quite fast, spinning over. Like, that's more of a sign of a lack of compression, i.e. head gasket, than cream under the cap. Also, what you'd look for, again, this isn't the easiest of cars to do it on, but normally what you'd look for, like Fords for example, Ford Transits in particular, older Transits with the 2.2 engine had faulty oil coolers, so that would mean oil and coolant would mix. That's normally I'd walk away from that. This sounds a bit crazy, but my first thing when I open a bonnet, I always look, not necessarily here because I can't, but I look, if it's got a clear coolant bottle that I can see, I look at the colour of the coolant. Is it a nice blue? Is it a nice pink? Is it a nice yellow? In the case of Renaults, like a luminous yellow. If you've got like take the cap off, and if you see like oily floating deposits in there, I'd normally walk away, because as someone that's done a few oil coolers on Transits, I know we very rarely get rid of that oily oil and water mix. So yeah, on this car as well, we have noticed something driving out, but we're going to have a little look underneath, make sure it's not falling off. So there's a bit of a blow at the back, but it's a Nissan Note, you know what I mean? The parts are going to be pennies for it. It's done 112, sorry, 1,000 miles. We've got some stamps in the book. It's got a fairly okay history. I'm happy with it. It's actually a nice little car, this. It really is a nice little car. What we're going to do is we're going to get it home, get it through an MOT, sort that exhaust out. We're going to get a real good, you know, full valet on it. And then I'm thinking it'll be a £2,000 car all day. All day. So so straight away, you can't really see it on the camera, but it looks like it's had a new middle section. Now what I found recently is people are fitting obviously the cheapest exhaust they can buy, and they're fitting it to one that's been on the car for years, and the fit's not necessarily that good, so there's a bit of a gap there. It's nothing to worry about. It can be fixed. It can be, you can tighten it up, maybe put a bit of exhaust paste in the joint. I've also seen that frankly lazy people, when they fit a new exhaust, they don't put paste around the joint between new and old or new and new, and you get that bit of a blow, which is, you know, that gives you that blow. So already seeing the oil. Have a look at our brake fluid cap there, try and get it in the camera. See the fluid floating, so we know that's our fluid line. These reservoirs are sometimes quite hard to see. If you've got a torch as well, just shine a torch down it and that'll illuminate the level. This is like our overflow. Japanese stuff has this overflow coolant tank, which looks okay. We can't see anything untoward there. Can't see any leaks from what we can see rocker gasket wise, which is good. These are probably, sorry for me trying to get the cap back on there, these are probably the best cars to start out with. Nice and simple stuff, you know. It's a little 1.6 NA Nissan engine, which looks okay down there. You can't really see anything, no leaks or anything untoward. Again, with me, I just check MOT history and stuff like that, and there's a difference. I mean, with these older cars, depending what tester you've got, there's a difference between people advising stuff for the sake of advising. Like, take this for example. Someone advises shock absorbers corroded. The car's a template, what you expect. So, as long as it's not leaking and it's not hanging off the car, a bit of corrosion around something that's metal that's done 110,000 miles on the road, there's nothing to worry about. It really isn't. If it's misting or it's leaking, then yes, that's something to worry about. Or there's a knock-in, yes, that's something to worry about. But a bit of corrosion is nothing. If you want to sort it out personally, I'd get a wire wheel, wire brush, clean it off, some Hydrate 80 rust or some good rust treatment, and then hammer right over it, and that'll just take care of that. I just prolong the life of the car, if anything. So yeah, this is nice and straight. To be perfectly honest, this is probably one of the less riskier buys I've had from BCA recently. But to be fair, every one of them's got me home. Every one of them's got me home, from the cheap cars that have been 200 or 300 quid to this, which is a bit more, 800 quid. They've all got me home because I've done the due diligence now. Some people think you've got to check it to the nth degree, and you have got to know what you're looking at. So you look, the gap around the wheel, is it nice and even? If it's to one side, then that's maybe an indicator that a suspension arm's bent or something. If it's obviously low, that's an indicator of a snap spring, and then I wouldn't advise you drive it. Wouldn't be professional of me. Again, nice even gap around the wheel. Make sure nothing's untoward. Steer lock to lock, and if you hear a twanging, that's an indicator that there's a snap spring or something wrong with the top mount. Then I'd look into that a bit more. But personally, I prefer to drive a car. I prefer to drive it home. Normally, as a rule of thumb, what I'll do is, say I'm going from Manchester now and I've got to go back to the Wirral. So normally I'd go M56 all the way home. Normally, but if I'm buying a car, what I do is I try and do 50-50. So I'll take the back roads 50% of the way, and then when I'm confident with the car, then I'll go on the motorway. All I'm doing is I'm just getting to know the car, really. And then once I've got to know it, I feel confident to go on the motorway. Just take it easy. You don't have to get in it and fly around. Just get to know your car. That's what it's all about. But yeah, I'll probably do a little video when I get back as well, just to show that hopefully I'll get back in one piece with the Nissan nose. I'll keep you posted, guys. I would like to edit it, but I've never edited a video in my life. Anyway, cheers for watching, guys. Bye bye.